Hey guys, my name is Samantha Williams. I'm a student at North Carolina State University, and this is my tutorial on Nearpod, the resource for educators. So what is Nearpod? It is an interactive electronic response system shown on multiple devices that can be used to display content, create and grade polls, obtain student answers in the form of short responses or pictures, which is my favorite, quiz and grade students, share student responses with the rest of the class, and you can also use this as a tool for after school for homework or for kids that can't attend that lesson that day. And so it's got so many tools to it. And why I think it's a great tool to gauge student achievement. And so in the middle of class, when you get that formative assessment to say, am I doing my job? Are these kids connecting to what I'm saying? It keeps student engaged and on task. They're able to use their own devices in some schools, such as schools that I've been a part of with BYOD, bring your own device schools. And so having that phone in front of them or that device keeps them engaged because kids love technology. And it also keeps them on task because Nearpod has a system to see if the students are actually on the application or the site on the moment that they're using it. It's personal responses because they have it in their hand, or in small groups, you're getting more responses which are personalized. It's a break from the mundane educational day, of course. It's visual learning, and it promotes collaboration and discussion opportunities before, during, and after a lesson. So during this training, I'm going to show you how to get Nearpod, how to create a Nearpod lesson, how to facilitate a lesson using Nearpod, and then a little blurb on how to use Nearpod for homework after the lesson's already over, or for those students that were unable to attend class that day, you can use it as a resource for them to reach out to without your help. Okay, so the first step is to go to nearpod.com, and when you go there, I'm already signed in, and so you can see that it has my library, and you can explore and use other resources from other teachers and other Nearpod presentations that they've created. So when I go to my library, it's the lessons that I've created, and I have spent money on this. Nearpod is about a little over $100 per year. I've been fortunate enough that both schools that I've been a part of while I've been using Nearpod have granted me that money. So it's a discussion, a conversation to have with your school if you are interested in getting Nearpod. I think it's well worth the money. It saves time. It's also super engaging, and I think it's great for the students. It's great for the learning process. So it's a conversation to have. I would go to my library, and you can see I have many lessons I've developed with this in physics and chemistry, middle school and high school. And we're going to create one today. I actually already created one for this. It's just the shell of one. So I'm going to jump into that and go into edit. Okay, and it's blank right now. But we're going to add a slide, and so it's basically a glorified PowerPoint, but it has so many other nooks and crannies of it that we're going to explore. So you would name it. I just did Nearpod Demo Genetics at the top, and then you can add slide. You can add content, and so that can contain things that are just like a PowerPoint, and you can actually just click and drag your old PowerPoint slides into this, so you do not have to reinvent the wheel. There's also really neat things that even I haven't gone through each of these, but BBC Video, so they have videos that are already plugged in. You can do field trips similar to Google Maps to a bunch of different places, so if it aligns with your curriculum. You can embed a slideshow that they can go through on their own. You can embed a video, audio, PDF, and the really neat one is a Twitter live stream. So you would embed anybody's Twitter live stream. So if there's a big event happening, if there's some kind of hearing, or if they're the astronauts and the ISS are having some kind of conversation, you can just show this live stream and it shows on their device at the time you want, which is awesome. You can add a URL and have them go to a specific website to go to. And then you can add activities that are really interactive, like quizzes and drawings and polls, memory test. Memory test is new. I haven't even done that one yet. So we are going to start with a quiz, actually. And so if you wanted to do some kind of pre-assessment before the class, I'm going to ask them 2 questions about some prefixes that I like to do at the beginning of every lesson. because of the Latin terms. So I'm going to ask, what does the prefix mono mean? And we'll go through same one, add an answer, joined. And then this is where you have to choose the correct answer over here with the checks. You choose the correct answer. And then I'm going to do one more question. The prefix intermean and joined between, let's put it different, same and between. I'm going to choose the correct answer again with the check. And then at the bottom, I'll move it down there so you can see, you would click save and your quiz is all done. Okay. All right. Next thing I'm going to show is you can add a slide, and I'm going to show you how to get that PowerPoint-esque slide in here. And so you would just go to slide for content. At the bottom you see background, so you can do any kind of fun background. I've got one in mind. And notice how you can click and drag any files here. So I'm going to do that with one of my files. Now of course this isn't a complete lesson, so because of my time constraints. So I'm just going to notice how the font gets smaller as it needs more room. I'm copying from a different file I have over here. And then you have to say add and text to get that PowerPoint-like slide. If that's what you are used to, I'm going to make my font white. And I'm going to increase my font size over here to huge, which really isn't that big. Okay, so then if you're really comfortable with this kind of tool for using notes, you can keep it similar to what you're used to and save and exit. You can also just click and drag your old PowerPoint slides there. Okay, so I've shown you how to make a slide. Next, I'm going to have you do a poll. So in the middle of the class, if you want to do a poll to see if they're learning, or if you want to see what they think of something beforehand, kind of a pre-assessment or a hypothesis for them, you can also add media to these questions. And so I'm going to add media with an image and add an image of Mendel's pea plants, and then answer my questions. Okay? And some answers so they can choose from. All tall and all short. Okay. This one you don't choose the correct answer though, because it's a survey, so it's not going to show. And allow students to select multiple options. I'm going to say no for this specific question, but it is nice to have that there. Okay. So we have a poll now. Now the next one I'm going to show you how to do, you add activity again, is to do a drawing. So the students love drawings and I love to put them in here. So again, I'm going to add reference and an image. And I'm going to click and drag one that I already choose for this question. So this does require a lot of thought process, just like any kind of lesson does, where you need to have these things prepared as you're going through. So I've got instructions for my pictures, and at the bottom here you can save. All right, I'm going to also add another slide, and I could do this as a web content, but I'm actually going to embed a video. So to embed a video, you actually have to go to content and the video. Okay, and then I've got my video link, and I'll just plug it in right there and search, and it'll come up on YouTube and save. And that becomes an embedded video right there. Okay, so now that I've got my finished Nearpod presentation, I'm going to save and exit. This is the fun part when your kids get to do it. They get to perform. So this is the option that you can do a live lesson in class, or you can do the student paced. And so the student paced, like I said at the beginning of this tutorial, is where you can give the code to the kids for after school, and they have 29 days in this scenario to complete it. So they can go through and do the quiz and the poll, and they can get results, and it actually gets sent to you within the time frame. And so this is the code now that is available for 29 days. And so I always make mine available no matter what, just in case somebody wants to go back. And so you can embed into Google Classroom, you can email it. It's a great tool. But we're going to do a live lesson. So it gives you a code, and I'm going to actually copy that code. And I've got my incognito mode up, where I'm going to join a class. So when you go to nearpod.com, I already had a different code. Here you go to for students, and they enter that code so that it can be on their computer, their Chromebook, their iPad, their phone, doesn't matter. And they enter the code, and it's going to ask them for their name. Okay, and I'm going to just put Sally in here. Join session. They can do nicknames, whatever you feel. And so remember, our first slide we put in was a quiz. So let go. So I'm going to answer the quiz, and I'm going to say mono is 1, and then I'm going to get the next one incorrect and say joined. So I'm going to submit. Now going back to my computer, and I gave them the code, I can see Sally got 1 right, 1 wrong. And so it's in real time exactly what's happening. And I can actually share. Now sharing is not going to give everybody's information away. It's going to it has this pie graph of how many we got correct or not. And when I share it, I'll go back to my incognito mode. The students see their own score, not everybody else's, but they also see the pie graph of everybody's answers. Okay? All right. So then when the students in this mode cannot go see the next slide until I click the next slide, which is great to keep everyone on track. And so here's the information that I see, and here's the information that they see on their computer, right? And so during this time, they can be writing, we can have a discussion when they're finished. It's a great tool. Okay. Another thing I like about Nearpod is that you can see at the bottom here, this green with the people in the 1. If you click that, it shows you that Sally is green. That means she's good. If you see a name that has red here, that means that they're not actually in the app. They're either texting or their phone died, something went wrong. And so you can see down here, if this turns red, that you need to check and see if somebody's using their device appropriately. Okay? All right, so I'm going to go to the next slide. And so this is where they can, this is where they can write, or this is where they can draw. And so you would draw your plants. You can use different colors. Now I'm not the best at drawing. They can type. Okay, they can do anything, and they can submit their work. On my end, I see everyone's responses, and I can actually share with the group the best response. Once again, it's anonymous, so it doesn't show, but it shows them what the most correct response is, and it can really promote that discussion. Okay, and then the videos, if they have their own headphones, they can also watch the video on their own time. So I hope you really liked my lesson on Nearpod. It's something I'm very passionate about using in my classroom, and I hope you're excited about start using it in your classroom and figuring out all the tools that it has. Thank you.